recognition of the 2009-2010 International Class of the Sun Institute. I need to say now that we're actually having 2 graduations today. This one, and I don't even know, well, you do know this now, but they didn't know it until a little bit ago. We wanted to find a way to integrate the people who have been doing the social therapeutics online certificate program, who are not present and have never actually met each other in person, or us. Well, some of them met us. And so that's going to be part 2 of this, and they will be brought to you virtually. So, this is our 6th graduating class. When at the end of today, these wonderful people will join psychologists and economists and theater directors from India, and political activists from Taiwan, and youth workers from Mexico, and university professors from Holland and maybe some help South Africa, and Nicaragua, all over the world. Pennsylvania. New York City. Every single international class has had at least one New Yorker in it, and we're very, very proud of that, and just urge people to let people know about the international class. We're not quite ready to change the name yet, because we really want Americans to think of themselves as internationalists. However, almost everybody says, I didn't know that we could be in it. So tell everybody you can be in it, no matter what country you're from. This group of people started in October, spent a week together with us. They visited and met with and participated in various activities of the All-Stars Project, the Independence Party of New York, the Social Therapy Group, and of course the Institute. They've interviewed people, they have been online with each other, and our faculty, very wide faculty that includes myself, Chris Helm, Barbara Silverman, Esther Farmer, Harry Loman, Dan Friedman, Jan Wooten, Christine Lacerva, and many other people. And I only want to say before I turn it over to them, 3 things that they have taught me, especially these last 2 weeks. So they're in October online together, came back in February for a week online together, and this is the end of their second week in New York. And they've taught me 3 things about us, about this community, and what they said, and I'm going to share them with you, regardless of whatever it is that they're going to say. The first thing is, so you know what I've learned? I've learned that this community shares. It's very close, but it is not closed. You are welcomed into it. You can participate in everything. You can go out on the street and fundraise immediately. Which was the thing. So that's one learning. Second one is, especially for people's interviews of people in the community, the comment was that people that here use challenge as a really positive thing. Not a negative, not like I don't want it, but embracing challenge. And very rarely speak about the personal rewards that they get from participating in creating environments for people to grow, but rather that the reward is the engagement of the challenge. And the third was about being giving and being responsible, and kind of a twist on what it means to be responsible is to be giving. I think it's a new combination. It's new in just a succinct phrasing. So I I've learned many, many other things, and they, of course, have been involved in rigorous study of the writings of Newman, Olson, and Gotsky, and Wittgenstein, and all of that. But I think, and I thank you for what you have learned that I just shared with the audience here. So it's very important to me. And they have come up with a way to present a glimpse of who they are and what they've been doing and what they're going to do for review the international class.
I was challenged to go beyond myself.
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 I was challenged to go beyond myself and to see myself as part of a history. I've been working as a psychotherapist in Brazil for some years, and in my work I had the opportunity to see people changing and also to be changed by them. But being here in the international class helped me to understand that my work could be used to create communities and to change the world in which I live. And that's new for me. I'm not used to think about myself as someone that can change the world. But in particular, being in this group was also a challenge for me to think about my ideas, my thoughts, my needs, my priorities, and my preferences as offers that I can do in a group, and to accept that we are doing in a group is much more than what I could expect one. So it does not speak to me, but it's offered by the group.
The international class is a change maker for me.
The international class is a change maker for me.
The international class is a change maker for me.
The international class is a change maker for me.
The international class is a change maker for me.
The international class is a change maker for me in terms of introducing new range of knowledge, performance, and lifestyle. Being a social and political activist living in Europe, I have experienced the East Side community and broader community of the East Side Institute was very unique and competitive. It introduced me and it brought me a new way of learning. Similar words, common words in a very uncommon way. It brought me a vision of life, performance, and change, and endless ways of doing. Thank you very much.
The international class experience has opened up my horizons.
The international class experience has opened up my horizons.
The international class experience has opened up my horizons.
The international class experience has opened up my horizons.
The international class experience has opened up my horizons.
The international class experience has opened up my horizons. You great people, illustrious people, awesome Americans. You have radicalized me so much that you have changed my cosmology. As a traditional theater professor, an actor, a play director, a husband, and a father. My coming into this community has shown and revealed to me that there are actually better ways of doing what I know how to do better. You have shown me of a more productive alternative, a performatory, interactional, performance-based methodology. And I have come, I have seen, and I have conquered. Thank you very much.
Strengthening my ideas of performance.
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 Strengthening my ideas of performance is what you have given me through this international class experience. I entered this learning as a person who comes with multiple communities and has been playing with ideas of performance in my practice as a therapist, teacher, researcher, clinician. And as I started this training, I also started a life transition of relocating from Houston to New York City to redesign and create new performances in my life. This class has given me ways to expand those performances and to continue to think how I want to redesign my life. How do I want to bring performance more into my life? How do I want to make it more center stage? These past 9-10 months, you have definitely strengthened and helped me grow my ideas of performance and living life as a performance.
I've come to realize that what I say is not what others hear.
I've come to realize that what I say may not be what others hear.
I have come to realize that what I say may not be what others hear.
I have come to realize that what I say may not be what others hear.
I've come to realize that what I hear may not be what others hear. I'm saying.
Nice addition.
It's the truth. I've come to realize that what I say is not what others may hear. And that has given me cause to think again before I speak. And this is a big change for me. It's something I've struggled to learn throughout my adult life. I wouldn't claim that I've learned it, I own it yet. But the international class experience and so many this past 3 residencies has brought me to realize that there's a lot of things going on in people's heads and in people's lives. And that there isn't a direct transmittal from what I might be trying to communicate to the other. And that uncertainty is a great opportunity. And this learning for me is radical. It's revolutionary. I look forward to using it as I go forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I am Pakistani. I am a poet. I cook. I am a peacemaker and I am a revolutionary.
I am a Nigerian, theatre professor, play director, an actor, a husband, a father, and a die-hard humanist.
I am an Indian becoming New Yorker, a passionate postmodern therapist, thinker, and a shape shifter.
I am a Canadian prairie boy, a father, a husband, a social activist, and a community development worker.
I am a Brazilian psychologist and therapist. I am a developmentalist, a PhD student, and I am gay.
I've learned that listening and speaking can be a generous activity of giving.
I have grown in how to play, how to perform, how to be an activist, and how to be a trendsetter.
This community has turned me around, changed my worldview, reorganized me into a performatory, developmental, patriotic rebel.
I am continuing to embrace life as a social and relational living art.
I am learning to live in uncertainty and to perform in the moment, to speak to others' hearts, and to seek the good of all.
I'm looking forward to include social therapy in my practice as a therapist in Brazil.
I am eager to develop a global network of communities with East Side community.
I am most passionately anxious to inject a performatory and developmental learning into Nigerian educational system.
I'm passionately committed to growing performative practices.
I intend and I hope to take home the learnings of the East Side Institute, the method, and share it with others in my work, in what I write, what I say to people, and to seek allies to bring to fruition these months of effort, because the world really needs it.
Words are grossly inadequate to express my gratitude and appreciation to you all for your roles played in this drama of my being and becoming. Thank you.
I am grateful, and I am very grateful for my wonderful group and developmental community to offer me a playful learning space. Thank you for being with me.
I want to thank you, each and all, for the words that you shared and for the moments of completion that brought thoughts to my mind, which may not have been directly what you were saying, but the insights that are almost beyond words to express here as to how we need to grow, as to what's at stake when we grow. And you may not have thought so, or you may have, but inside of me, there were moments that I can barely express, which wouldn't have been without you and your efforts and your stick-to-itiveness. And then expressing yourselves, you helped me to grow. Thank you.
I want to thank you for your firm decision and determination of being together. I want to thank you for being kind, generous, and to support me and give me the opportunity of being someone else.
I want to thank you all for being with me on this journey. for creating this group together, for helping and practicing and playing and arm wrestling and taking all the photographs, collecting our memories, for struggling together, and also keeping our members that we started with in this performance, and helping me to continue to recommit over and over again to these ideas and the importance of them, not just for practice as a professional, but also as a human being. Thank you.
And now, to you all these great, ridiculous revolutionaries.
Obrigado.
Shukriya.
Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
Shukriya.
Miigwech.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now Christine Lacerda without whom they would not be who they are today. The director of the social therapy group and of training of therapists at the Institute will give them their certificates. Richard R. Hadaway.
Yes.
Babathemi Babatope. Salika Baba. Marino Mosheta. Ahmad Saeed Khan.
I promise you'll get a picture. Do all this later. It's now my pleasure to introduce Carrie Bowman and Chris Holm, who have been two of the four faculty of the Social Therapeutics Online 20-week program with myself and Fred Newman. Chris, Carrie?
I want to join Lois in saying how much we have learned from you, as well as what you've learned from us. It's been a privilege and a pleasure. Hi, everybody. 6 months ago, the Social Therapeutics Online Certificate class began in January. There are 6 members in this class from around the world. And in some ways, we created this class 2 years ago now, in part in recognition that there were people all over the world who wanted to study a methodology who were not able to make it here for the residencies. And so we thought we had advanced enough in our online teaching, which took a decade of online teaching, to feel like we could offer something of quality online. So the 3 of us, as well as Fred Newman, have been teaching this class. And I think in part we decided to include them in the graduation because of how moved we've been by their growth and what they've been giving to us about what they've been giving back of what they've been learning. So we spent a few minutes on the phone brainstorming how can you possibly have a graduation for people who are not here. And what we decided to do was ask them to send us photographs of themselves and the people they work with. And then I've worked with them over the last several weeks to write brief statements, some of them in the form of poems, some of them in the form of letters, about their work with us and who they are becoming. We're filming this in part because we're going to create a Skype call where Lois and Chris and I and they graduate them together, and they watch this graduation as part of that. So, so we will begin the slideshow, and we will read the statements.
Alexandra Sutherland is a drama professor from South Africa. She begins her statement with a quote from one of Fred Newman's plays, Life Upon the Wicked Stage. Maybe it needs no explanation. We lived it. And we can communicate it to others as a story rather than as an explanation. And she says, this is a story about an animal that felt she needed some extra sustenance. She'd been faithfully chewing and digesting the same food for many years. And although it kept her going throughout her daily activities, she really didn't feel that she was growing or that the food she was consuming was effectively assisting her in how she was relating to the other activities of her life, her family, her community, her work, her own growth. And as she observed her daily surroundings, something was missing. One day, she decided to explore a new area of the landscape in which she had been living. This was the time in the animal's life when her usual daily activities had changed, and she was able to take more time to explore, to start new activities that would feed her differently. It was a time of stepping into less known areas of her world, and often she felt like she was not sure where she was going. But because she was exploring with some other animals from faraway parts of many different landscapes that made up her habitat, she never felt alone. The area where the different animals all met at different times of the day and week was wide open, flat, and often quite exposed. Sometimes some of them were able to meet in a different environment where they were able to communicate more intimately, as there seemed to be less distance, and she preferred those moments. But as she grew to know and understand the workings of this new community, she started to feel more comfortable in the wide open spaces. She was fascinated by all the different animals that she encountered and the way they spoke about their lives and their communities. She grew to really like them all and thought about them all the time. Some appeared more than others, but everyone felt very present. There were some very wise animals who sent the others off foraging in different sources of food. Some of that food was hard to digest. But through sharing their experiences, together they built an understanding of the basic sustenance that made up this new landscape. And she learned what she had known all along, that when a group creates something together, it is a very positive and enriching experience. In their foragings, explorations, conversations, they learned more about themselves and each other than many other environments that the animal had been in. She is now no longer afraid of the unknown. As though being part of this group, she has come to understand that the unknown is where many growth spurts can happen.
Miguel Cortez, a youth worker at a community center in Juarez, Mexico. This is in the form of a letter. Dear friends, last Sunday, Mariana, my partner, and I inaugurated in an extra space we have at our home, the Fred Newman Social Therapy Center in Juarez. It has been at least 2 years since I was looking forward to this moment. It took such a long time because I wanted to fix the place, get chairs, fix the restroom, put a nice floor, make some divisions, and so on and so forth. Ironically, it was in the last couple of weeks that I realized that it wasn't the physical space that needed to be ready, but the building of the group in Juarez that had not yet been ready. Fred and Lois, in their writings, talk about the ZPD not being a physical space, but an activity. And as an activity, it took a while for me and others to organize an environment in Juarez to open the center. It involved the work we did building our international class, building with the supervision group, building with this online social therapeutics course, and in Juarez, building my work at CASA and at the university so as to build a group that wanted to work on its development. This effort materialized on Sunday, with a room created with my living room chairs, a cement floor, not a pretty restroom, and not even air conditioning. The people we invited were there because of what we have built so far, and as far as I can tell, they didn't mind the modest therapy space, because we were creating something new and important. We had our first social therapy session, and it was awkward, exciting, and wonderful at the same time. For me, it has been the process of learning to work and to give with what others have got, which is not only the material things, but with what we can build with others, with creating a ZPD, with building our group. So I thank you for being a part of that.
Ellen Scully Ross. She's from the United States, just finished a PhD in new media. To be or becoming? That is the question. Questions are what we do when we don't know. But knowing is not the answer, because there are no real answers, only questions. And activity is on the road to becoming. But hey, wait, doesn't becoming also entail what is? And isn't what is also known? I'm so confused. Diane shares a dilemma and invites us to do the same. Miguel writes a poem, and this creates space for more. Priscilla and Julie confess referential rugs, and we all begin to see our own. Alexandra is frustrated. Her activity in the world is not enough, and we all see that enough is not the point. But hey, wait, isn't social therapy about changing the world? We are so confused. Enter Wittgenstein, who plays language games. Through language we see cause, rules, generalities, theories, explanations. But what if there are none? We are all sick people, and how we think makes us sick. Stripping away the abstraction and reification of sense, beginning to expose language as an activity. Thought is not expressed, but completed in the world. We are social.
Alexandra Kovic, a psychologist from Bosnia. The name of this poem is Passing on the Spark. Come on, help me build this boat. We can call for more of people to help us out, more of water to shift us up, more of rocks to teach us how. I don't know if I can tell what it is to build a boat. I have never done it before. I have never tried, though I thought I have. But come on, help me build this boat. Come on, children, big and small, people living, people dead. We can always use a hand. Some say boats should float, but we can maybe jump. And if we fail to build a boat with all the hammers and the steel and wood, we will maybe make a spark, and sparks are lovely.
Julie Harper, also of the United States. She's in organizational development training. I've learned that I've always been drawn to working with groups, and that my work interest for learning more about social therapy came out of witnessing great work at the San Francisco Bay Area All-Stars organization. I've learned that while I do like the immediacy of seeing results in growth and development with both individuals and within groups, that I had a hunger to learn more about the theory of social therapy. The Eastside Institute was the perfect organization to meet that need. How exciting to be learning from the pioneers in the industry, Lois Holtzman and Fred Newman themselves, and later found out about the wonderful Chris Helm and Carrie Oakley. Thanks to you all. I've learned that I felt privileged to be part of such an accomplished and giving group of students and teachers with such varied lives, all making such a difference in the day-to-day work they do. And while at times it felt difficult to get my arms around the online process, I found myself really looking forward to the online posts, as if I was receiving little presents each time I opened my inbox. I've learned about the beliefs from Marx and Vygotsky and how Newman and Holtzman built upon those early beliefs. I've learned that it's okay not to always have the answers, to get too caught up in the referential rug, and that in many ways it's the questions that actually are more important as they keep the learning process going. I've learned I can sit with ambiguity for longer than I thought, and that by sitting with it, sometimes a more thorough explanation comes about. I've learned about learning, leading, and development, and how that applies to our toddlers and adults as well. And when working with groups, that it's more important to keep the process going in terms of learning and development, and in Fred's term, a comma versus a period. I've learned that providing structure to a group is fine and somewhat expected, but that it's also important to let the group be and find that balance of safety and controlled chaos. I've learned that silence is okay in a group, that it's important to check in with each other and see how the individuals in the group are doing. I've learned about the value of play and in growing to what we want to be by performing who we aren't, and have confirmed my interest in wanting to be part of this world of social therapy and working with groups. Thank you to each and every one of you in this online social therapeutic certificate program. You have touched me by your thoughtfulness and inspired me by the work you do each and every day. Congratulations to you in completing this program, and to all the students in the international program as well. Happy graduation, all.
Priscilla Fantousakis, a professor of education here in the United States via Greece. I would like to thank everyone for these lived moments we got to share. I was the one who was not familiar with the online seminar and asked for your patience. Thank you for playing with me online and allowing me to learn by performing what I did not know. I enjoyed every second of it. I always look forward to reading messages we were posting and learning from everyone's unique lived interpretation of our reading. Also, it was a pleasure to communicate and learn with the instructors from the Eastside Institute who are committed to revolutionizing normal science and generously allow us to join them in the process of playing, questioning, and exploring. My moment of greatest joy was when I posted my very first message, which took me quite a bit of courage, and Lois kind of challenged, within quotes, my reliance on a referential rug of psychological theories or paradigms that contradicted the search for performative psychology. Since I have always admired the work of our instructors, Lois's feedback was welcome and very much needed. As a result, I went back to the text and reread it with a sort of open-ended lens, and I enjoyed the potential of treasures I got to explore. All of the instructors participated in our playtime and shared moments of wisdom that nurtured our growth. The joy I have experienced with all of you has found its way into my professional and personal life. The learning activities in my classes are more playful, and the fun in participation tends to inspire exploration and discovery. My expectations of my students are not less, and the learning environment has been even more enhanced. I appreciate the playtimes I've spent with all of you, and thank you for opening a playground with endless potentialities and beauty. This is a playground I would like to continue visiting, and I hope you will be there with me. With much appreciation and love, Priscilla. Diane Whitehouse, technology consultant to the United States. It's in a poem. As someone who has always struggled with the written word, I have found this class a delightfully torturous playground. The massive chaos becomes our playground, in which we all learn how to think together through our written words. I have an enormous place for this group's incredible support of the building blocks that are piled in massive chaos and will not stay stuck on trying to figure it all out. Our narrative playground has thrilled me, your special touch has nurtured me, and I so treasure you. Through our struggles together to be curious, we have learned to embrace the different ways in which we can express ourselves. We move and create in this world without a heaven, building a community across borders and borders. I want to thank you all. Words cannot express how much I have been able to grow. Thank you.